Hello, people of the world watching new vehicle reviews on the internet. Welcome to this, the all-new 2024 Lexus GX550 Luxury Plus. It's the ultimate off-road capable rig for people that have no intention of ever even leaving the pavement. So today I'm going to get up in the air, wear a nerd out in the tech specs, see how it differs from its sibling, the Land Cruiser, and then go do off-road things. It's a rather large Lego-shaped unit. Oh, this is painted. I thought that was black textured plastic. Black painted muffler manufactured by Sango with a cut tip for better departure angle. Behind this plastic barnacle is the tow hitch receiver, and with the equipped towing package, it is capable of towing 7,800 pounds. Oh no shit! The wheels are made by Raise Engineering, made in Japan, forged monoblock. And you get a spare matching one. That is, oh, that's what's up. Just like the Tacoma, the rear tow hitch is integrated into the back of the frame. That's also where the recovery points are. Out back, the GX550 utilizes a 4-link rear suspension with panhard bar and solid rear axle. Because this is the Pavement Princess spec, it has an open rear differential with a 3.307 final drive ratio. You can get a locker though if you get the off-road Overtrail edition. That's a beefy pumpkin. I'm pretty sure this is more stout than what came on the Taco and the Land Cruiser. That looks like a screaming Pop-Tart human. Because this is the Luxury Plus, it comes with adaptive dampers, a little barnacle on the side. Manufactured by Takiko Japan. This actually has a forward-mounted rear anti-sway bar, and it measures in at approximately 21 millimeter in diameter. This now being the third generation of the Lexus GX, codenamed internally J252. It is built on Toyota's TNGA F platform, shared with the Tacoma and the J250 Land Cruiser, as well as the upcoming 4Runner. This Luxury Plus model, fully loaded, is one of the heaviest at 5,710 pounds. These robotic running boards are damn near a rock slider. I mean, that is thick steel construction. Bigger engine, bigger fuel tank. That's steel too. Steel skid plate under the gas tank. Also different than the Land Cruiser and Taco, big stainless muffler. It's dual Y-pipe into the single. Other than the fuel tank, there are no skid plates on the luxury model, hence why the Overtrail model exists. That's your off-roading option. Mid-pipe, all exhaust is stainless in construction. Dual 65 millimeter in diameter at the Y, which is a little bit more than 2.5-inch SAE. And when it goes to single, it stays the same, 65. As far as the transmission goes, it comes standard with the Aijin AWR 10L65 direct shift 10-speed automatic. It has a maximum torque input rating of 650 newton meters, which ironically is exactly the same amount of pound-feet the engine produces, 479. Steel transmission pan, paired to that 10-speed auto, is a full-time 4-wheel drive transfer case with a torsion center diff and electronic locking feature. You can see the front diff, which also is open like the rear. Hey, they painted their drive shafts, unlike Ford. Well, that's wild. They mounted the steering rack right in front of the axle behind the radiator. It is so easy to access. Steel oil pan, super easy for oil changes. Up front, it utilizes a partially steel in construction double wishbone front suspension with aluminum knuckles, fully boxed steel, aluminum inner and outer tie rods also, and that's a beefy ball joint in that thing. I think that knuckle is forged. Again, paired with those Takiko adaptive coilover dampers. Easy to replace the ball joints, being that the lower portion is steel and independent from the upper aluminum knuckle. A noticeable takeaway with this and the Land Cruiser, which are both manufactured in Japan, is that these made in Japan Lexus Toyota products, the build quality seems exceptional. The front anti-sway bar, 36 millimeter in diameter. The new Tacoma, which is not made in Japan, had a hairy cardboard skid plate on their off-road model. This, steel skid plate on a non-off-road model. Time for the braking test. No one behind me. Ready, set, go. Okay, wow! That's pretty good for something this big. It had some shimmy and some squirm to it. Quite a bit of nosedive. Good solid pedal feel. And shorter than expected stopping distance. I don't know if you can hear this. It's like like a weird buffering noise above my head. The crossbars on the roof rack on this thing make you go crazy because it sounds like there's a tornado coming. It's audibly noticeable, and that probably means it's affecting your fuel economy too. That braking was just made possible thanks to a set of 4-piston calipers with a 353mm or 13.9-inch front rotor. The wheels on this Luxury Plus model, they are a forged monoblock made in Japan by Ray's Engineering, 22 by 7.5, wrapped in a set of two 65/50 22-inch Dunlop Grand Trek PT5A tires. 6 on 139.7, same lug pattern as that Tacoma and the Tundra. You can see the upper wishbone now, it's steel in construction. Hairy cardboard inner fender liner. The back of it though is plastic, as is the front with some functional vents. LED projector fog light as well as cornering light. Oh wow, that's actually functional right down in this lower portion. Oh, there's a heat exchanger behind it. Ah, and the same with the lower. I don't see any active grille shutters though. Oh wait, there is active grille shutters on the upper. And the one under the headlight, that's fake. Again, those robotic running boards, you can disable them if you don't want to use them. Oh, that's more like a foam. Like a hard foam. Out back, you got a single piston caliper with a smaller 12.6-inch or 320mm rotor. Wheel and tire, square stance, same size as you have up front. In the name of science, I am now going to give this thing the beans. But first, a bolstering assessment. No, it doesn't really have a lot of bolstering to the seats. The material in the seats feels super expensive and high-end, as you should expect. It does have ventilation, heated steering wheel, and I go to vehicle, seat control, massage. I have all kinds of different options I can choose from. Turn that on. I know the screen looks crazy, that's just my camera. You can hear the leather crackling as the little balls move onto your back. That didn't sound right. They're 3-way memory saveable also. As far as drive modes go, I have my mode selector dial as well as a redundant button down below that says drive mode. I think that's for using ECT second, yeah. I can go from Eco to Comfort to Normal to Sport S Plus. I actually really like those graphics, that's kind of neat. And Custom. The traction control button is also located in that same area. Press and hold it and it'll defeat traction and VSC, stability control. You can also slap this over and use it as a sequential for manual mode, as well as I got some flappy paddles in the back of the steering wheel. Okay, let's see what this thing can do. Ready? Go. All right. Let me build up a little bit of a launch there. Some definite torque management in between the shifts. Some hesitation. Fake sound generation. There we go. It's very smooth. Quick pop. It's fairly light, probably aluminium. Hood struts, satin finish, pretty. Underneath the head of the 2024 Lexus GX550 is the V35 Alpha-FTS, which is an all aluminium, dual overhead cam, twin turbocharged 3.4-liter V6 that produces 349 horsepower at 4,800 RPM and 479 pound-feet of torque at 2,000 RPM. 0W20 robot blood. How stylish of them, a black washer fluid cap. Whoa, the brake master cylinder is hidden in this little box. Digging in a little bit deeper on this 3,444cc V6, it is an open deck block with a 10.3-to-1 compression ratio, a 85.5 by 100 millimeter 4-inch stroke. Moving up into the cylinder heads, this does have Toyota's VVTi, variable valve timing intelligent, on both intake and exhaust cams. However, the intakes are electronically controlled, whereas the exhaust cam is hydraulically controlled for its valve timing. It does employ Toyota's D4ST, both port and direct fuel injection. Let me pop open this engine cover, get get a look at that water to air charge cooler. Now, as you can see, there are dual air boxes on either side of the engine bay, one per bank of cylinders. You can see that air flows in from the fender into these air boxes where it goes down into the turbo on each bank of cylinders, and then from the turbo goes up into this water to air charge cooler, which has its own coolant loop independent from the turbos. And then from that water to air charge cooler it goes down into a plastic plenum where it feeds the intake valves. It's hard to see, but I presume the EGR and emissions control stuff is housed in the valley of the block as well. Plastic valve covers, the charge pipes are also plastic. Kind of old school, you can see it still utilizes a clutch fan driven by the engine. You can see the puke tank is actually split. Intercooler on one side, engine on the other. Now this is the same engine that's utilized in the Sequoia and the Tundra, and as many of you are aware, there is a huge recall going on those engines for debris being in them and causing the engines to fail. This one, albeit, is made in Japan. So I will say this, if you have to have the newest, hottest, and greatest vehicle, there's a higher probability it is gonna have more problems than the last model year of that vehicle. It is nothing new. This has been around since vehicles have been around. So it's a trade-off. You have to decide what's more important to you. Welcome to Rally Special Stage 2.0, and today the conditions are dry and dusty. Now, as far as off-road modes, this doesn't have any because it's the mall crawler package. All I have is controls for 4 high and 4 low, so I can press it down, which requires neutral. Well, that's fairly fast. Can lock my center diff. Custom drive mode, there we go. Now I preset this up for off-road. I think this will be the best. I got powertrain into full power mode, suspension into comfort, steering into sport, and air conditioning. Do I have extra normal? No. I think I'm gonna use manual mode to keep the revs up also. Let us begin. Ready? Go. All right. It's hard to gauge when to shift in manual mode because the fake sounds don't actually sound like any real engine. So without being able to look at the tach, I mean, you can kind of see it in the heads-up display, I think. Oh, the suspension on 22-inch wheels. Yeah, it's not suited for off-roading. That clanking you hear in the back, that's actually an optional ball hitch. It came with one in a factory Toyota Lexus box. So you're gonna hear that, I'm sorry. The suspension's doing its best to soak up these massive bumps. You can hear the clutch fan engaged now. I feel like I'm just out of my power band. Like, I need to be in, there we go, in between first and second gear for most of it. I turned on the wipers. It's hitting my GoPro. Round the roundabout. The super silty dust. It just does not. I don't understand why anyone would buy an ultimately capable full-time four-wheel drive off-road vehicle and then ruin it with big wheels and all these comfort luxury options. It doesn't make sense to buy something like this if that's what you're going to use it for. All right, come on, go! Cross the line. Oh man, I don't want to criticize this thing against the wheels and tires are on it, as in I don't like them, because I love that they're Ray's Engineering forged monoblock. They're just in the wrong diameter. If those were like an 18, 19 maybe tops with a nice meaty sidewall and an all-terrain tire, it would be great. All right, time for the hill climb test. The hill climb's starting to get some ruts into it, which is nice. It's gonna make it more challenging as the more I keep doing these. So I am going to put it into 4 low. I also have ECT second, which starts you out in second gear in case it's super slippery out. Now, if this was the Overtrail, I'd have KDSS, the multi-terrain select, crawl control, the rear diff locker, all the stuff you want on a full-time four-wheel drive body-on-frame SUV. Off-road information. Oh, the wheels are accurate looking. Oh, and notice it's got some all-terrains on it, as it should. Under vehicle cam, that's sick. But yeah, I can adjust it. It's got all the correct factory colors. That blue is sick. There you go. Okay, I got some good trail cams. We'll use those. Going up. Revs up, torques. This doesn't look like much on camera, but it's pretty close to 30-degree incline. Oh, I like the down-facing trail cam because I can see where that rut is on the side right there. Nice. Good breakover on this thing. You can tell it has the underpinnings to be excellent off-road. I really wish I would have been able to test the Overtrail edition for you. I don't have any downhill assist or anything, so I'm just gonna use my feet, which I normally would have anyway, so. Excellent trail cams. I like that the vehicle is transparent, so when you're doing the top-facing camera, you can see it's highly detailed, actually. This is really good cameras in this thing. Felt it slide a little bit. The tires are struggling for a grip. I'm gonna take this way out of here. Whoa, this is a steep one. Yep, no problemo. Just like the Land Cruiser, the upper glass lifts up. Whoa, there's a camera there. That's sick. Is that so you can drive the glass open? I guess maybe the camera has to look through the tint. It doesn't make sense that they do that, but I think it's so this can be open. There's little electric buttons to raise the seats. This one, oh no, my tow hitch stuff. Man, that's a powerful seat motor because those boxes are heavy. It's not really a ton of space with it all the way up, but the GX never had a ton of space with third row up. I'm glad that they kept the size of this thing reasonable and didn't balloon it into something bigger than it should be. Captain's chair, GX, back seat. I don't know what that was supposed to mean. I got some square cup holders in the middle and half a sandwich holder. Got dual USB-Cs, my own climate control menu, and for the rearmost seats as well. And they're heated. I didn't even know this technology existed. The roof in this thing, while it does have a physical cloth shade you can open and close, the glass itself has the ability to go from crystal clear to opaque just by touching a button. You can stare directly at the sun and not burn your retinas off. It just looks like a big orange ball. I don't know if this is actually safe. I mean, I can see a giant orange dot now wherever I look. Got the upper middle class shades. I don't know how else to describe those other than people that are in the upper middle class have vehicles that have those. Armrest gotta go up. Okay, that just gets out of your way. If I press this, that's crazy how that comes up out of the floor. Warning, do not drive while this seat is tumbled. Oh, they call it tumbled. I actually have enough headroom back here. That's surprising. The cushion is kind of firm, not something you'd want to do a super long drive in, but 4 cup holders in the back as well as dual USB-Cs. This is kind of excessive, but I have power reclining rear seat. It doesn't move very much, but that's still crazy. Speakers in the rear gate right behind you. There's cold air blowing out of there, right by your butt. Ball mount box. The interior of this Luxury Plus trim looks like you're getting your money's worth. It's super luxurious and full of tech. It feels like a Lexus should inside here. I found this extremely confusing. I kept trying to lift this or push this or slide these or pop these out. I get that you're supposed to be able to sit your smartphone right here and it makes it easy to read, but I don't understand the shapeology. Wireless phone charger, 2 square cup holders. Inside here is a cool box. While I'm no ancient Egyptologist, I do believe this means caution, read information booklet on fish and steaks in the void of nothingness. Trailer brake controls, press this for the trail cams, touch capacitive. Yep. I very rarely say this on car reviews, but I found the controls for the gauge cluster super confusing to use. So at the bottom here, you'll see I have 3 different sets of gauges I can scroll through and hold OK to customize them. However, you can't do this while you're driving. So if there's something you want to see and it's not pre-saved, you can't simply just hit the controls to be able to view them while you're driving. Which honestly, if you own the vehicle, it shouldn't be a problem because you'll probably set this once and that's good to go. All right, the stereo in this thing is insane. 1800 watts. Absolutely top shelf sound system. Where this thing really shined was on-road, even though I'm doing an off-road review. I will say the Luxury Plus package, you can tell it was tailored for that type of driving. It's super comfortable, especially with the massaging seats. There's plenty of room inside here. It's not super harsh, even though it's body on frame. The fuel economy, I don't see a benefit of the new V35 Alpha over the outgoing 1UR. Maybe on paper it's better fuel economy wise. I averaged 14.4 miles per gallon the week that I had it of mixed driving. So it's marginal if best in terms of extra power feeling in the driver's seat and fuel economy gains. I don't know if it was worth ditching the V8 for that. It does bother me a little bit that this thing's called a 550, and I understand their logic and why they did it. It's just a marketing scheme, I guess, because it's forced induction, so it has more power because it's forced induction. The displacement doesn't matter as much. But traditionally, that number had a purpose. It designated a badge of honor to the size of the engine. So this should be a GX340. Should be. But marketing. It is now time to give the GX some scores. And yes, my scoring system is a little confusing, so ask some of the OGs in the comments section to help you figure it out if you're confused. First is the bean score, and it earned a rating of... Next is the cookie score, and this fully spec'd out luxury plus model in the low 80s gets a rating of... Followed by the wrench score, and it earned a rating of... Next is the meatball score, and the luxury plus trim of the GX550 gets a rating of... I guess this was the best way to really test its off-road capabilities because it's at a disadvantage with those wheels and tires. And they're not big enough diameter where I can't take it off-road at all. So lastly is the penguin score, and it earned a rating of... I like the looks of it a lot, and the stuff I like about the Land Cruiser applies to this as well. If I could get the Land Cruiser with the diesel, I would choose it over this. I want to see how the new 4Runner is. That's going to be the deciding factor on this platform. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I'll see you soon with another. Bye!